Martin Scorsese made the audience fall in love with a criminal. Jordan Belfort scams people out of everything they own. But when he's on screen, you're caught in a rush. You cheer during his speeches, laugh at the chaos, and get glued to every insane party scene. The Wolf of Wall Street doesn't just show you the greed of a few money-hungry dirtbags, it drags you into their world. You're not just watching the corruption take place, you're a part of it. And somehow being part of it feels good. So how does Scorsese pull that off? It starts with Leonardo DiCaprio as Jordan Belfort. By 2013, Leo was already a household name. The romantic lead from Titanic, the clever con man in Catch Me If You Can. Roles that made audiences trust him. Martin Scorsese weaponized that image. He knows the audience is predisposed to like Leo, which means you're already on his side before he ever opens his mouth. DiCaprio brings in this relentless energy and charisma. From the minute the movie starts, he's breaking the fourth wall, looking right at you, pulling you in like you're part of his inner circle. Even though the red flags are flying off the screen already, you don't really stop to judge because you don't get any time to do so. The pace, the confidence, the immediacy of it all sweeps you along before you can step back. It's kind of like putting a 2-year-old in front of Cocomelon, except here it's yachts, cash, and chaos.
1, 2, 3!
The Wolf of Wall Street hijacks your brain in the same way, but instead of cheap distraction, it's powered by Scorsese's craft. The quick pace isn't there just as noise to get you through the movie, it's designed to mirror Jordan's own manic energy. The editing is sharp and quick. It makes you feel like you're barely keeping up, and you want to keep up. It works like this sort of contagious adrenaline. The narration does something similar. He's talking directly to you, sharing his secrets. It makes it difficult to do anything but stand with him. This sense of being involved, complicit in a way, gets evoked. Even if it's subconscious, you can see the effects of all of this in the very first scene already. Then, something a little more unexpected happens. After the chaotic opening, Scorsese slams the brakes and takes us back to Jordan's first day on Wall Street. We've just seen his peak, but now he's naive, nervous, still learning the ropes. We've just seen the monster, and now we're presented with the question, how does this guy become that? In the lunch scene with Matthew McConaughey, Jordan is fully mesmerized. He's still the rookie here. At first, he even seems intent on actually helping out his clients.
But if you can make the clients money at the same time, it's advantageous to everyone, correct?
Until his own employer starts ranting about his insane philosophy. Do drugs, rip people off, and don't think twice about it. Jordan is still unsure of himself at this point, but he's already starting to mimic the greed and rhythm. The crash of '87. Before Jordan's career has a chance to begin, it has already come to an end. Yet there's no emotional weight to it. There's no effort to evoke any sympathy from the viewer, which makes sense for a couple of reasons. First, slowing down would kill the pace. This movie doesn't dwell, reflect, or give you time to think. And second, if the film slowed down and asked us to connect with Jordan emotionally, you wouldn't be on his side anymore. A spotlight would be shined on his hollowness. So, after being upset for a solid 2 minutes, he heads out to a sketchy-looking strip mall office, which turns out to be a gold mine. Here, for the first time, you see Jordan actually working the phone, and notice how these people are framed before we even get to hear them.
Who buys this crap?
Well, I mean, honestly, mostly schmucks. Postmen, there's always postmen.
Right away, that lowers your guard. You're not allowed the opportunity to imagine someone close to you getting ripped off. These people are just dismissed as some idiot who had it coming. On top of that, we're never actually shown the victim's side of things. They're just a voice on a phone, gone before they even realize their life savings have vanished. Money Jordan will happily blow in a single day. Next comes the squad. Donnie, Sea Otter, Chester, and Robbie. These aren't polished bankers with Ivy League degrees. They're just idiots, barely qualified, incredibly unprofessional, and in some way that makes them easier to root for. When they win, it feels like an underdog story. You're not thinking, these guys are helping Jordan scam strangers out of their savings. You're watching a bunch of clumsy nobodies stumble into wealth and success, high-fiving like kids at recess. Their first victories are shot with laughs, cheers, and celebration. The tone is playful, almost innocent. It reframes fraud as something fun. The characters are too dumb to feel dangerous, and the energy of the moment sweeps you up. One thing The Wolf of Wall Street has going for it is that it's genuinely funny.
You know what I mean? And that's the thing. All nuns are lesbians.
If it wasn't, the whole movie would instantly fall apart. Which of course might sound obvious, but let's explore this a bit. Who are the people in life you feel most connected with? Odds are, it's the ones you share a specific kind of humor with. Inside jokes, things that wouldn't land with anyone else. That's exactly what's happening here. These guys don't tell jokes. They turn regular, boring conversations into roller coaster rides. So even though you're well aware these guys are dumb, greedy, and completely devoid of any moral compass, that awareness gets pushed aside by the sense of belonging you get from being in on a joke. Something I noticed though, is that Scorsese slips in moments that snap you back to reality. Donnie swallowing a goldfish, Jordan flipping off the phone. They're quick, but they remind you that these guys lack any form of empathy. Without these moments, it'd be easy to forget they're actually dangerous. The humor becomes so overwhelming that you start to see them as cartoonish. And without those brief flashes of moral emptiness, you risk the viewer checking out emotionally. 3 hours of speeches, chest beating, and drug-fueled chaos can start to feel like a circus act. Even critics point this out. They'll complain about the repetition, the runtime, the non-stop madness, but in the same breath, they'll admit that it works. The film wears you down over time, and it's actually a feature. It's like a sugar rush. The highs get bigger and bigger until you're almost dizzy, and by the end, you're wiped out in the same way Jordan is. Right around the moment you as the viewer start feeling fatigued is about the same time things start slowly collapsing. It works in a way that's kind of comparable to a casino. The constant lights and sound never let your brain settle. There's no clocks or windows, nothing that tells you time is passing, and the reward system is built to speedrun through your dopamine reserves as fast as possible. It's overstimulation by design, until your brain shifts gears from slow, rational thinking to fast, instinctive reactions. Scorsese uses this mechanism to his advantage. You're not just watching Jordan's downfall from a safe distance, you're feeling it alongside him, and the music plays a huge role in this feeling as well. Early on, the soundtrack is funky, jazzy, upbeat. A lot of tracks pulled from the 60s and 70s. It gives the film a fresh and timeless feel to it. As the story escalates, so does the music. Gritty funk, thunderous rock, and raw blues. There's such an abundance of everything. Money, yachts, drugs, and the music reflects it. As we get near the end though, about the last hour or so, when Jordan's world starts slowly collapsing, the music choice isn't so obvious anymore. The tracks are still upbeat and fast-paced, and to be honest, I don't have a clean, logical explanation for this. I've done some research, and I can't really come up with a definitive answer. I can sit here and preach about how it's a masterpiece in contrast or whatever, but I can't really land on that one thing that makes it so effective. Whatever the reason, the music here creates this bittersweet feeling, where you, as the viewer, are already drained and the party just keeps going. Towards the final 30 minutes, things really start taking a turn. Jordan's friends start ratting him out, his marriage implodes, and he's facing real jail time. You see him in constant distress, growing apathetic. This is building towards what's supposed to be the heaviest part of the movie, his conviction. But instead of a traditional downfall, Scorsese flips the script. Normally, in stories like this, the arc is simple. You get the rise, the fall, and the punishment. The audience gets to enjoy the thrill. Then justice swoops in to clean things up. Here, Jordan barely suffers. He's just kind of like, oh yeah, I'm rich, so Joe isn't even that bad. His 3-year sentence is skipped over in seconds, played off like a minor inconvenience. And in the final scene, he's back at it. Still selling, still admired, making money off the very name his crimes created. It leaves the audience in a strange spot. For 3 hours, you've been complicit in cheering him on. But because Jordan ends up not being punished, there's no way for the viewer to feel morally clean again. You're left holding the guilt of your own enjoyment. The viewer has been tricked into laughing with this guy, rooting for him, maybe even wanting what he has. That's the final trick Scorsese pulled in this movie. Jordan walks away with his image intact, while the audience walks away knowing they helped keep it that way.